Join us in studio is Dan Wu, the co-creator and co-host of Where Y'all From podcast. It's so good to see you, and we love this idea. You're just a hilarious guy as well.
Yeah, thank you. The podcast is called Where Y'all Really From.
Really.
And that word really kind of has become the central thesis of that show, because as Asian Americans and just kind of people who, quote unquote, don't look like you're from around here, we get that question all the time. And then it becomes an interrogation. So it's like, where are you from? Oh, I'm from Lexington.
Like,
yeah, but where are you really from?
The follow-up.
And so for us, it was about exploring that question of sort of identity and belonging, and, you know, kind of expanding the idea of what a Kentuckian could look like.
Yeah. So that is more of a community than people probably realize.
Absolutely, yeah. There are, I think in Lexington alone, there are about 14,000 Asian Americans, and I think in Kentucky there's somewhere around 75, 80,000. So we're here. We're not a huge chunk of this state, but we're here and we've been here.
I love it.
So on these podcasts, what are y'all talking about? I mean, how do you?
What are y'all really talking about?
Yeah, what are y'all really talking about when you dig into that question?
Yeah, so we've been just, it's an interview format, so we interview just really interesting AAPI folks from around the state. A couple of my favorite episodes, Danny Quintos is a local poet here. We had a great conversation with Neely Bendapudi, Dr. Neely Bendapudi, who's the president of YAll. So we got to talking about really interesting, how people of color enter positions of power and those kind of dynamics and stuff. And I will just tease our season closer. Episodes drop every Tuesday on basically everywhere you get podcasts. Our season closer is going to be on the 30th, and I just have two words: Olympic athletes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with the Olympics. I'm also obsessed with one of your co-hosts, May Suramek from Berea. Of course, a lot of people know you from Atomic Ramen, and she's a foodie too.
Yeah, I call her my noodle sister from Noodle Nirvana. Yeah, so after the couple of years that we've had of anti-Asian hate and violence, and after the killings in Atlanta earlier this year, we kind of just came together thinking about, like, what can we do towards this problem, right? And not every problem is solved by laws or ordinances, things like that. So we were talking about, like, what is missing, and what's missing is stories about Asian Americans. So May Suramek, Nima Kulkarni, who's our Kentucky State representative, Charlene Buckles, a friend from Louisville with the ACLU, and May and I, the four of us, kind of came up with this idea to do it. But anytime you get somebody like May Suramek involved in a project, you're going to be all right.
Yeah. What's the response been so far?
It's been phenomenal. I think in our first few weeks we had somewhere around 10,000 downloads.
Wow.
It's been a huge hit. I'll tell you the one thing that blew my mind, it's officially an NPR podcast.
What? That is amazing.
If you go to npr.org and you search our podcast name, or just search like Dan Wu or any of our names, our podcast comes up. And I'm like, that's it. I've made it. I've made it.
You really have.
Yeah.
How many episodes have you all already done?
So this summer, because of scheduling stuff, we actually recorded 11 episodes in 2 weeks. We just knocked it out. In total, we're going to be releasing 12 episodes. We're over halfway into our season, so I think our last episode will drop the 30th every Tuesday. So in total, 12 episodes, and we're already talking about season 2.
That's so exciting. So obviously you're in the podcast game now. Are there any other podcasts that you enjoy listening to that you think are, kind of spreading good messages like this one is?
Oh gosh, yeah. I'm kind of a podcast fiend. It's kind of nice at home, like when you're cooking or cleaning or whatever, like just having a voice in the background, even if you're not 100% paying attention. Like it's great to listen to. I love a lot of the NPR podcasts. Pop Culture Happy Hour is great. NPR Politics, Throughline.
Invisibilia, have you listened to that?
Invisibilia is great. Fresh Air, of course.
Terry Gross, the best.
yeah. And then there are a bunch of Asian American podcasts out there too. Self-Evident. Southern Fried Asian is one that's kind of close to our heart because it's about Asians in the South. And we're actually the two co-hosts, me and Charlene, we're trying to schedule being interviewed by them, by Keith, on that show. So that's kind of cool, a little cross-pollination.
I like that.
Yeah.
Now, I know my mom always talks about the fact that she has no idea how to listen to a podcast, and there still are a lot of people out there who don't really know. So can you kind of walk them through that process?
So easy.
It is.
So easy. One, if you know how to use Google the name of the podcast, you'll find it. You can do it on an Apple podcast app. You can do it on iTunes. You can do it on Spotify. Like so many different places where we can search it up. So.
Absolutely. Well, we have loved having you here, and we wish you nothing but the best with this podcast. So awesome, and I think it's just a great idea.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Just getting to know people. That's the thing. You just need to get to know people. I've always heard it's hard to hate when you know someone.
That's 100% scientifically correct.
Open your heart and open your mind, and away you go. So
Yeah.
the sky's the limit at that point. Thank you very much for being here.